The fear of other people's opinions. The first enemy you must defeat is invisible. The fear of what others think. Musashi taught that the warrior walks alone because those who constantly seek validation lose their own rhythm. Living under the gaze of imagined judges is like fighting a battle that does not exist. Most people are too busy wrestling with their own shadows to truly watch yours, yet you surrender your freedom to their phantom opinions. This fear is subtle. It disguises itself as caution, respect, or even humility. You choose a career to please your family, wear a mask to fit social expectations, and silence your true desires just to avoid whispers. But Musashi reminds us, if you know the way broadly, you see it in all things. When you let others define your path, you walk blind, cut off from your true purpose. The solution is not rebellion, but detachment. A warrior does not announce his moves. He simply stops giving power to those who drain his energy. Practice silent elimination. Decline commitments that steal your time. Let go of people whose approval you don't need. And act according to your own strategy, not theirs. Freedom begins when you stop dancing to a song that isn't yours. This doesn't mean the path will be easy. There will be days when the weight of other people's expectations feels unbearable, as if the entire world is watching. In those moments, remember Musashi's lesson. Victory comes from discipline, not noise. Every time you act from your inner compass instead of fear, you sharpen the blade of your spirit. The fear of judgment is a silent killer of dreams. To conquer it, you must step into solitude, where the only opinion that matters is your own. Musashi lived by one principle: do nothing useless. Living to impress others is the most useless battle of all. Walk your path and you'll discover that silence itself is power. In Musashi's path, the warrior protects his energy as fiercely as his sword. Some people drain your spirit without you even noticing, like a slow leak from a vessel. Toxic relationships are not always loud or violent. Sometimes they are quiet chains that keep you tied to places where your growth is stifled. A warrior who carries the wrong allies into battle invites his own defeat. Musashi taught, perceive that which cannot be seen. Often we ignore the subtle signals, the exhaustion after seeing someone, the unspoken tension, the constant need to defend yourself. You cling to these bonds out of guilt, habit, or fear, believing that letting go would make you cruel. But in truth, clinging to what destroys you is the real betrayal, the betrayal of your own path. Silent elimination is the way. You don't need grand gestures, conflicts, or explanations. Like a warrior leaving behind worn-out armor, you simply stop feeding the connection. Reduce contact, release expectations, and reclaim the energy that belongs to you. Freedom doesn't require noise. It requires clarity. Ask yourself, after speaking with this person, do you feel lighter or heavier? Does this relationship bring discipline, wisdom, and growth, or does it trap you in endless cycles of chaos? A warrior measures everything by its impact on the path. If it weakens you, it cannot remain. Musashi said, do nothing that is of no use. Some connections, no matter how familiar, no longer serve your purpose. When you let go silently, you create space for allies who walk in harmony with your journey. Protect your energy, because the wrong companions can cost you battles you were destined to win. Some battles are fought not against others, but within. Musashi warned that the greatest enemy lives inside your own mind. Self-destructive habits are silent thieves. They chip away at your discipline without making a sound. Checking your phone obsessively, drowning in meaningless distractions, postponing what matters. Each small act weakens your spirit more than a visible wound ever could. Awareness is the first strike. Musashi wrote, you must understand the rhythm of all things. To change, you must first see the hidden rhythm of your habits, the automatic motions that steer you away from mastery. Observe without judgment. When your hand reaches for the third cup of coffee, ask, is this necessary or just noise? Warriors act with purpose. Everything else is wasted motion. Transformation does not happen in grand gestures. It happens in silence. You don't need to announce your new discipline to the world. You take small, deliberate actions every day, replacing habits that weaken you with those that sharpen your focus. Like the repeated cut of a blade against a whetstone, mastery is forged in consistency. Be patient with yourself. Even Musashi lost duels before becoming undefeated. Each time you resist a destructive pattern, you train your spirit to endure. What seems insignificant today becomes your greatest victory tomorrow. Remember this. Perceive the truth in all matters. When you stop feeding habits that drain your energy, your mind grows lighter and your path clearer. A disciplined spirit is like a sharpened katana, precise, unshakable, and unstoppable. Musashi believed that trying to control the uncontrollable is the fastest path to defeat. Yet many live trapped in this illusion, planning every detail, anticipating every threat, clinging to outcomes as if the universe owed them obedience. The truth is simple. The more you try to grip life, the more it slips through your hands. Accept everything just as it is, Musashi taught. A warrior focuses only on what lies within his control. His actions, his discipline, his response to chaos. Everything else, other people's choices, the changing winds of fortune, the storms that rise without warning, must be released. Clinging to what is beyond you is like trying to hold water in a clenched fist. This doesn't mean surrendering your power. It means redirecting it. Instead of wasting energy on what cannot be shaped, pour it into sharpening your skill, strengthening your mind, and refining your character. This is where true control begins. Within. When you stop fighting against what cannot be changed, life becomes lighter. The burden of forcing outcomes dissolves, and you gain clarity over the moves that actually matter. Musashi mastered this art. In every duel, he never sought to control his opponent, only himself. To live as a warrior is to release illusions. The path demands trust in your own rhythm and adaptability to what unfolds. Victory comes not from forcing the world to obey you, but from flowing with its nature. Musashi's way teaches us that sometimes letting go is the highest form of control. Musashi taught that frustration is born from resistance to reality. Many people live under the crushing weight of expectations, from family, society, and most of all, from themselves. You believe you must be flawless, the perfect partner, the ideal friend, the untouchable professional. But this pursuit is like trying to carve a statue out of air, exhausting and impossible. Do nothing that is of no use. Expectations built by others are just that, theirs. They are distractions disguised as duty, pulling you away from your true path. A warrior measures himself not by comparison but by alignment. Are your actions in rhythm with your purpose? When you fight battles that are not yours, you waste strength on shadows. Freedom begins when you lower the weight you were never meant to carry. Release the belief that you must meet everyone's standards to deserve peace. Accept that imperfection is not failure. It is life itself. A broken blade, when sharpened with care, cuts just as deep. So too does the warrior who stops striving to be everything and focuses on being true. This doesn't mean you stop striving altogether. It means you fight only the battles worth fighting. Musashi won more than 60 duels because he never wasted energy on pointless displays of pride. Follow this principle, choose fewer goals, but pursue them with unshakable precision. When you eliminate unrealistic expectations in silence, you open space for clarity. You no longer chase an image, you walk your path. True mastery lies not in meeting standards set by others, but in transcending them entirely. This is Musashi's way, to become so aligned with yourself that no external measure can define you. Many battles are fought not with swords but with words. The need to always be right is one of the most draining wars you can enter, a fight without victory. Musashi warned that obsession blinds the warrior. When your mind is consumed with proving others wrong, you lose awareness of the greater strategy. Perceive that which cannot be seen. Winning an argument may give temporary satisfaction, but what is its cost? Every moment spent forcing your opinion is energy stolen from your path. Like carrying stones in a satchel, the weight grows unbearable, and you wonder why your spirit feels heavy. Musashi's way is silence, not the silence of defeat but of strength. Sometimes you walk away not because you lack answers, but because your purpose is larger than the argument itself. In every duel, Musashi focused on precision, not noise. He knew that victory does not require announcing itself. It simply exists. The path of mastery is not about conquering others. It is about conquering yourself. Accepting that you don't need to be right is freedom. You make room for learning, for growth, and for deeper understanding. A warrior who listens sees further than one who only speaks. Remember this truth. A sharp blade does not boast of its edge. It simply cuts when needed. Let others have the last word if they must. In doing so, you preserve your energy for battles that matter and gain the quiet power of self-mastery. In Musashi's era, the battlefield was physical. Today, it is mental. The constant flood of notifications, updates, and endless scrolling has become the new enemy of focus. Our minds are drowned in noise, leaving no room for clarity or silence, the very spaces where strategy is born. Musashi lived by observe nothing unnecessary. If he walked among us today, he would see most people enslaved by distraction, chasing fragments of other lives while losing their own. Every vibration, every ping, every flashing screen is a duel you didn't choose but keep fighting. And each one pulls you further from mastery. A warrior guards his attention as he guards his sword. Clean your digital space as you would sharpen a blade. Remove what does not serve your purpose. Silence unnecessary notifications. Unfollow those who add chaos, and create a rhythm where technology works for you, not against you. When you reclaim your focus, something profound happens. The silence returns. In that silence, you hear your own thoughts clearly. You begin to act with intention instead of reacting to noise. This is where discipline is forged. Not in avoiding the battlefield, but in mastering your environment. Musashi would say, if you know the way broadly, you see it in all things. Once you eliminate digital clutter, life itself becomes sharper. Each moment becomes deliberate. In a world addicted to noise, silence is the rarest form of strength. The sharpest battles are fought within the mind. Negative thoughts creep in like silent assassins, seizing control before you even notice. They whisper, "You can't," and if you listen long enough, you begin to believe them. Musashi warned that the greatest opponent is the one you cannot see. And these thoughts are exactly that. Invisible blades cutting without sound. Musashi taught, control your spirit and you control your surroundings. Negative thinking is not defeated by fighting it directly, but by mastering your response. When a thought arises saying you are not enough, question it as you would an enemy's feint. Is it real or merely illusion? By observing without reacting, you strip it of its power. Detach yourself from the storm inside your mind. Just because a thought appears does not make it truth. A warrior knows he is not his passing emotions. He is the blade that chooses when to strike and when to remain still. Let the thoughts come and let them pass, as clouds over an immovable mountain. This is not avoidance, it is precision. Redirect your energy to what strengthens your spirit instead of feeding the voices that weaken it. Replace self-doubt with deliberate action, fear with discipline, and chaos with clarity. Each small choice shapes the warrior you are becoming. Musashi's path is mastery over self. Eliminate negative thoughts in silence, without drama or resistance. Do not announce victory, simply reclaim control. When your mind is quiet, the path becomes clear, and in that clarity, no thought can command you. Musashi believed that clarity of mind begins with simplicity of life. Just as a warrior keeps his blade clean and his movements efficient, you must clear both your space and your thoughts. Clutter, physical or mental, is wasted weight, stealing energy from the battles that truly matter. Do nothing superfluous, Musashi wrote. Every object you keep, every unresolved worry, every pile of unfinished tasks occupies space in your spirit. It distracts you, slows your rhythm, and scatters your focus. A warrior cannot strike decisively with a hand weighed down by unnecessary burdens. Begin with what you can see. Remove what no longer serves you from your environment. Objects, habits, even commitments. Then turn inward and do the same with your mind. Release grudges, doubts, and outdated beliefs. The blade is sharpest when free of rust. The spirit is strongest when free of clutter. This practice is not about perfection, but alignment. By clearing what drains you, you create room for discipline, awareness, and strategy to flourish. Each act of letting go is a strike toward mastery, bringing you closer to a life of deliberate purpose. When your surroundings are ordered, your mind follows. Musashi's way is simplicity, not as deprivation, but as liberation. In silence, remove the unnecessary, and you will find that peace is not something to chase but something revealed when the excess is gone. Musashi walked a solitary path, undefeated not because he copied others, but because he mastered himself. Comparing your journey to another's is like trying to wield a sword built for someone else. It will never fit your hand. Yet so many waste their lives measuring their worth against shadows. Respect the path of others but remain on your own, Musashi might say. Every warrior moves at a different rhythm, and when you look too long at someone else's pace, you lose your own. While you envy their victories, you neglect the battles that shape you into who you are meant to become. Comparison is a thief of presence. It blinds you to your progress and distorts your perception of value. A warrior focuses on his own strikes, his own discipline, his own growth, not on the noise of other duels. Musashi's victories came because he saw clearly. Mastery is inward, not outward. Gratitude is the antidote. Instead of asking, "Why am I not there?" ask, "What have I built so far?" Reflect on your wins, however small, and you'll realize how far you've come. A sharpened blade does not need to prove itself. It simply cuts when needed. Eliminate comparison silently, without resentment or pride. When you stop measuring your worth by others, you reclaim your freedom. Musashi's path teaches that the only battle worth winning is against yesterday's self. Walk your rhythm, carry your blade, and let the rest pass like wind over water.